It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and gracious welcome to all of you to the 17th Agriculture Leadership Conclave 2026. The 17th Agriculture Leadership Conclave, organized by the Agriculture Today Group, stands as one of India's most influential platforms dedicated to shaping the future of agriculture. With the theme, Feeding the Future, the conclave brings together policymakers, industry leaders, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, and key stakeholders to deliberate on sustainable, technology-driven, and resilient food systems. Over the next 2 days, the forum will highlight critical conversations around agriculture, food, nutrition security, and public-private partnerships, innovation, and leadership in transforming Indian agriculture for the future. This prestigious conclave has over the years emerged as one of India's most respected platforms for meaningful dialogue, collaboration, and leadership in the agriculture and the allied sectors. It brings together policymakers, thought leaders, industry captains, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, developmental partners, and stakeholders from across the agricultural ecosystem. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin this important journey of dialogue, vision, and collaboration with our first session on strengthening industry-academia partnerships. A session that addresses one of the most critical pillars of agricultural transformation. And ladies and gentlemen, I have the proud privilege of inviting on the dais our distinguished moderator for the session, Mr. Sanjay Chaudhary, Vice President, Strategic and Corporate Affairs, Indo-Gulf Crop Science Limited. Let's put our hands together to welcome sir. I have the privilege of inviting our eminent panelists. I invite Dr. Nutan Shukla, Director General, MET Food and Agriculture Foundation. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Inviting Dr. R.C. Agarwal, Deputy Director General, Agricultural Education. Inviting Mr. M.J. Saxena, Advisor, Ayurved Limited. Inviting Dr. S.K. Malhotra, Vice Chancellor, Maharana Pratap Horticulture University. And Mr. Raju Kapoor, Director Corporate Affairs, FMC India Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome our eminent panelists on the dais for the first session of this very prestigious event. Kaushik. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished moderator, Mr. Sanjay Chaudhary, is the Vice President, Strategic and Corporate Affairs at Indo-Gulf Crop Sciences Limited. He is responsible for product portfolio development, strategic planning, and workforce management at the company. Holds a background in agriculture and animal husbandry from J.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, and has a master's degree in soil science before joining Indo-Gulf Crop Sciences. He served as a country director at Sinochem India Private Limited, and with a strong agriculture expertise and leadership experience, he brings valuable insights into crop science, farmer-centric solutions, and the future of Indian agriculture. And with those words, may I hand over to our moderator, Mr. Sanjay Chaudhary ji, to kindly carry forward the proceedings of the session. And sir, as you are aware, we are having the inaugural session at 12:30, which will be graced by the Honorable Minister and some very senior dignitaries. I would request you to kindly follow the timeline as shown on the monitor in the front. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. The first session of these two important days, and my understanding is it would set up the platform and the tone for the discussions that would be happening or the deliberations that would be happening in the next 2 days, giving a couple of action items in and around agriculture, and that would be driving the way forward. The part one, the panelists, they need no introduction because most of them or I would say, I would use the correct word, every one of them is highly acknowledged and appreciated within their functional domain. But still my request is that maybe they can have a brief introduction for them by themselves. I start with Madam.
Hello, good morning. I'm Dr. Nutan Kaushik. I'm the Director General of MET Food and Agriculture Foundation. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to everyone. My name is Raju Kapoor. I have just transitioned from position of the Director for Corporate Affairs for FMC Corporation. More news to come shortly. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Myself, R.C. Agarwal. I worked as Deputy Director General Agriculture Education in ICR and also the National Director of World Bank Project, National Agriculture Higher Education Project. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody here. My name is Suresh Malhotra. I'm working as Vice Chancellor, Maharana Pratap Horticulture University, Karnal. It's a new university started by the government of Haryana. And I have served at several other positions with Government of India, Ministry of Agriculture, Agriculture Commissioner, Horticulture Commissioner. Then I have served as a ADG Horticulture in ICR system. So this is just a brief about me. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohanji Saxena. I am from BHU IIT, almost with 4 decades of experience on sustainability. I was managing director in Dabur Ayurved, and my only passion of the last 40 years has been sustainability, sustainability, and sustainability.
Thank you so much. Thanks to one and all. To be very honest, I'm slightly nervous because today I'm sitting on the dais with the people whom you follow from a distance. So I would start, I take the liberty to, and I take with due regards to everyone, I start with Kapoor Saab. Kapoor Saab, you almost have a 30 plus experience in the corporate world. 40 plus, sorry. Young man. You have a 40 plus experience in the corporate world. And you have a clear understanding of the strengths, what the industry has, and the strengths, what the academia has. But the common understanding is that both the industry and the academia, they work in isolation. So your take on it, and what exactly should be the 1, 2, and the 3 key steps which should be taken forward so that they both work in a partnership or a collaboration? Over to you, sir.
No, thank you so much. I think the fact that this is the first session highlights the importance of this subject, that for the critical growth of this country or the agriculture of this country, it's very crucial that the academia and the industry work hand in hand in propelling agriculture to its next level, which could happen by way of, number one, ensuring capacity building in the whole system. Number two, making sure that there's enough and more talent availability. Number three, there's enough innovation ecosystem created jointly or in collaboration with both. To your point, I think there was a major gap between the academia and the industry. I mean, over this last 40 years, if I may tell you the transition, if some professor talks to a company wala, it was seen as, oh my God, ye kya kar raha hai? So keep distance. Ye industry wale hai. Abhi from that point to some of the very revolutionary improvements which our friend Dr. R.C. Agarwal and others have brought in here, I think the system, the academia is increasingly looking out and becoming open to talk to industry, and many collaborative projects have been undertaken. Are they great projects right now? No, but I think the beginning is great. And I think that's a big positive I see for the joint partnership. Second element, which I very clearly see, is the hesitation, because the knowledge flows in a gradient, right? So from a higher gradient to a lower gradient. So I think nobody should have that prestige or an ego of saying I am more knowledgeable, because there are people in both systems who are highly knowledgeable, and the knowledge flow has to be ensured and assured. What happens is many a times that this cycle breaks, this flow breaks, because of which the innovations don't really fructify. I mean, if you look at the system, there's so much of research in the ICR system, but how much of it is converted into pure revenue or income for farmers? While, on the seeds front, especially on the food crops, we'll agree, but the rest of it, I think we could have done a way better job, which we will do now moving forward as the transition is happening. So if you ask me, 3 suggestions you asked me. So the first suggestion clearly is there has to be a panel constituted, which is, you can have a committee or a panel, whatever you call it, and which are regularly brainstorming on addressing the needs of future for the industry. So why am I saying that? Is because we are at a position today wherein the entire agriculture is being reshaped completely by the advent of artificial intelligence, the precision farming, genomics, the climate adaptation. I think this year seems to be a big lesson on how do we work together. So these things are happening at a too fast a pace compared to the curricula, which is right now in position. So how do we work together on ensuring that we have a dynamic curriculum rather than a static curriculum which हमने 5 साल के लिए fix कर दिया, वो होता नहीं है fix, because AI is going to change the shape of this whole game. So how are we going to, it's very interesting. I will just take half a minute extra. I was just reading yesterday a very interesting competition which was happening, where China Institute of Technology and China Agriculture Institute, Beijing Agriculture Institute, उनके लोग आपस में अपने अपने रोबोट्स बना के फुटबॉल का मैच खिलवा रहे थे. Why am I saying it? Because agriculture में जो AI है वो जा चुका है अंदर, बहुत डीप जा चुका है. हमारा सिस्टम, are we there or are we just scratching the surface? I think वो बड़ा honest एक आंसर चाहिए, और उसमें ना we cannot go slow, because agriculture impacts almost half of the population. So we need to go very fast. Second, I think industry has some real-time problems. वो रियल टाइम प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है? आपके पास सप्लाई चेन का प्रॉब्लम है, इनपुट कॉस्ट का प्रॉब्लम है, क्लाइमेट रिस्क का प्रॉब्लम है, मार्केट एक्सेस का प्रॉब्लम है. These are all fodder for the academia to convert them into solutions. So this session or this committee could actually collate all the problem statements and distribute them among the academia and the brighter students, and then convert the whole thing into solutions. Sell the solutions back into industry. Have a stake so that you're making money in the whole process. Those who don't make money don't succeed. So, I mean, American system of education is very simple. Industry की finance से सारा चलता है पूरा. Lekin industry is so dependent on academia. Similarly, I think that the third element here is farmers and agripreneurs. They have tremendous power to disrupt the whole game. So how do we get them in, their inputs in, to kind of reshape the curricula, the caliber, the capacity of the students, and their absorption in the industry? So a facilitating environment, if that can be created, an ecosystem that can be created, I think that would go a very long way in ensuring that innovation flows from industry into academia and from academia into industry. I can add on later on, maybe. I don't want to take long.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Nutan, the moment we hear the word Amity, the first the first word that comes into mind is technology. So we would like to hear your views on what all fronts Amity is working so that this technology gets into agriculture. And if I use a very specific word, it gets into the precision farming of the agriculture. Over to you, madam.
Thank you. You rightly said the agriculture at Amity has been from the very beginning. Like unlike the private universities who have initiated other private universities who have just come into the agriculture foray, Amity University started right in 2005 the agriculture because our honorable founder president he's very fond of agriculture and he's very committed to giving the solutions to the farmers. So we established a dedicated center for extension services, where whatever the technology we develop or whatever the technology is developed by someone else, so that should reach to the farmers. So that was the motto behind establishing that center, that whatever is technologies are available, whether within Amity or outside Amity, that should go to the farmer. So our extension services are dedicatedly working in that one. Now coming to the technologies. So we work closely with the farming system, farmers, and also with the industry. So we work with both the systems. So we identify the problems, real world problems, like at the end, first with the farmers, and then going to the industry, seeking the solution from the industry, what kind of solutions can be brought forward, and then we develop on the solutions. So as an academia, what we provide to the industry, as an academia, we provide the manpower to the industry. If we have to provide the manpower to the industry, our curriculum has to be adjusted according to the requirement of the industry. But it cannot be that our students are just studying the routine kind of things and industry requirements are totally different. So that's why there's a mismatch between whatever the curricula is being taught to the students and the real world problems, real world solutions are totally different. The industrial requirements are totally different. So so we take care of this one. So in our all advisory board in curricular development board, we keep at least 2-3 industry representatives, so that whatever the curricula we develop, we get it vetted by those industry people so that they can give the requirement. And every year we revise the curricula. We take the feedback every year on the curricula, and based on the feedback from this, we take feedback from everyone, from the students, from all the stakeholders, including industry. And depending upon that feedback, we revise curricula every year. It's not that you were talking about the 5 years fixed formula. No, it's not that. It's very dynamic. Even the batch which has joined last year, if something new has coming up, we will be incorporating that changes also into this one. So your curricula has to be very dynamic. It cannot be a fixed one. And similarly, the practicals also are very dynamic. They are not fixed ones. So we take our students to the real world. They identify the problem. And during the course practicals, they only do that kind of practicals which are required by the society, be it industry, be it farmers, be it anyone. That's first thing. Second thing, like what the academia can provide is the technological solution, which you rightly said. For technological solution, should we work in isolation or should we work in collaboration? So collaboration is the answer, isolation is not the answer. If we work in collaboration, I think we will be providing the right solutions. So like there was a call by the government of India, can we enhance the farmers' income by doubling the farmers' income? So we came up with the technology called agrivoltaic. Agrivoltaic means if the farmers is not even grow the crop on the same field, at least he can get some income by putting up the solar panels, and solar panels in the same field where it is growing the crop. Because we optimize the height of the pole so that it does not put shadow on the crop. So the crop yield is not impacted. At the same time, the electricity is harvested. And that was picked up by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. This was one of the technology. And this technology is enhancing the farmer's income at the same time. So it's a simple technology. It's nothing new. But we just optimize the height of the pole so that it doesn't impact the yield. Similarly, ZECC, Zero Energy Cool Chamber, though it was developed at PUSA, but it was optimized at high level at Amity University when Dr. Sushant Roy, he joined Amity University. So we work closely with the farming committee and industry should and nowadays in the NEP 2020, there's a provision that industry can, professor of practice, no, they can join without even having the PhD. Any industry personnel, they can join the academia as a professor of practice and then can impart the whatever the knowledge they have to the students. They can share their experience with the student and then so technological. So basic role of the industry and academia is to provide the manpower, right kind of manpower with right capacities, right skill sets. So that is first role, and that can only happen when we develop our curricula in collaboration with industry. Second is to provide the technological solutions to the society, and the diet of technology which industry can take up and provide to the society, and that also can happen only when we work in collaboration. Like if we see the Western world, they have been collaborating with academia right from the beginning. We used to see that in US, all the projects are funded by the industry, whereas in India, industry hardly comes forward to support the projects. So we came up with the model called PPP, triple P. We are public-private partnership, okay? So where the academia, the government and the industry, because part of the fund comes from the industry, then from the government, then only the industry come forward. So BIRAC is a very excellent example of this PPP. So BIRAC has given and that it's working such a hard, fast pace. And that kind of, I think, models we need to build up in agriculture system also, in all the area, whether it's medical or biomedical or anything. I think BIRAC kind of model, we need to develop more BIRAC type of model so that it can happen on it. We see the day of the light, and the technological development is very fast in BIRAC. The vaccine development could happen because of the BIRAC intervention only. So that is the model which we need to take forward, and that is a very right model. They have all sort of funding possibilities that government and private can, if they come together, then the academia can also join them and then provide the right solution. These are my submissions.
Thank you so much, madam. If time permits, I have some follow-up questions, but let's look how the time flows.
Sure.
Dr. Malhotra sir is the right word. Sir, I have been following you since you were an agriculture commissioner, and you have been part of policy, research, education. Currently taking a major initiative in terms of horticulture. Sir, when it comes to horticulture, we all are very clear that it would be something that would be driving agriculture, both for international and the local market. But when it comes to collaboration with industry and academia, as per my understanding, it is just limited to the crop protection products or something related to nutrition. Sir, your views on it and how practically it can be made more strong, considering that it would be driving agriculture.
Thank you so much. In fact, you are aware that horticulture has made a rapid stride in the country. A lot of development has taken place, and it is evident from the high level of production which we have achieved in the country. Well, this is one point. Another, if this progress has taken place, who is behind this? How this has happened? Because of our strong institutional setup in the country and vibrant industry available in the country. So here we have 75 agriculture universities, 7 horticulture universities are there. The point which you have raised, that technologies, particularly we have strong industry in specification, if I tell about plant protection, as you mentioned. It's okay, it's true. But there are several other areas which we have not touched. Quality planting material. In horticulture, quality planting material production plays the greater role. Here, industry needs to come forward because research institutions could only generate the good planting material, good varieties. But later on, the multiplication part is to be taken care of by the industry through nursery establishments and others. This is one area. Another. So now, people are asking for the safe products. So biosolutions we need in the country. Because horticulture crops mostly, they are perishable in nature and mostly consumed raw, vegetables, fruits, etc., etc. So safe horticulture produce we need for the population, for the people. So here we need to introduce biosolutions in the country, for which again I should say that industry needs to come forward. either it's a biofertilizers or it's biopesticides, biostimulants, and biocontrol agents. So there are several other biosolutions which we need to provide, and these are some of the areas where we need to work together. So here, universities, ICR system, National Agriculture Research System, we call it. Later on, we added the name National Agriculture Research and Education and Extension System. Some changes have happened. So this kind of system is prevailing in the country. So we need to take benefit, and here, academia and industry needs to play the greater role, because academia, they provide the basic education, advanced education, PhD, MSc, etc., etc. Then again, I'll cite two more categories. That's basic R&D. That is also conducted by the universities and others. And then we have applied R&D, where we need to have a collaboration with the industry. So these all are the four areas we need to see. I remember when I discussed with Mr. Raju Kapoor, is available with us. मैं इनसे कई बार बात करता था, क्या what you comment upon the quality of the product which are coming from our institutions. ये बोलते थे, यार आपके प्रोडक्ट हमारे किसी काम के नहीं है. एक बार ऐसे ही जस्ट एक लेजर बोर्ड में हम लोग बैठे थे, बात हो रही थी. I remember just 5-6 years back. तो मैं वही कहूँगा कि इंडस्ट्री, here academic institutions, they provide basic education, they provide advanced education, and then applied R&D. For applied R&D, again, we need to join hands. And there are some key areas where we need to work together, and even with the industry to resolve the unresolved. There are many issues which are unresolved. So where we need to work together in a consortium or some internet in networking projects, we can make, I think further we will share our ideas. Thank you. These are the just preliminary points which I
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Highly grateful, sir. Dr. Saxena, there is a common perception, and maybe it's also true to some extent. Most of the research that is happening on agriculture or maybe livestock as well, it never sees the light of the day. So we would like to have your views on it, that whatever is being done in the research level, how academia and the industry, they can work together so that practically it goes to the farmer who is exactly the
efficiency, but in feeding the world also. Both the things are there, agriculture, livestock, whether we call it One Health, whether we call it climate resilient agriculture. It was only possible because industry needed the academics to bring the science behind the knowledge and to take it to the farmer. I am the one person who only appeal one thing to the people. Look at to your glorious past, which has brought you here, where you can transform and change, adaptive change for preparing for the future. We know our weaknesses. That doesn't require any mention. But we also know the strength. As Dr. Malhotra said, as Rajuji said, there is no dearth of academic institution, there is no dearth of industry, there is no dearth of youth who is aspiring to. Now, what it requires, I leave it with one general question to all the people. Every year we change the slogans of the conference, but do we ever change our mindset also and reset it to the short term and long term need of the farmer, of the industry, of the academics, of the country? As a result, the key thing, value proposition. And I always basically share this thing, buffalo, cows do not read the research paper. They do not know anybody by name, but what they know, what is the feed they are getting, what is the supplement they are getting, what is the quality of the input, and if all these three things are aligned, then you see India is the largest producer of milk, not just for a couple of years, but I remember 2003 onward, India has been at 240 million. It's not a question that we are to 240. What we will be doing when our population will go to say 150 crore, and it's not very far off, how we are going to meet out the requirement of our food. So the point what I am saying, the PPP was only private, public, and this partnership, but now it is multiple linkages point are there, like you find here in the DNA and RNA, there are 4 bases only, but their replication is creating value. Artificial intelligence, yes, it is giving the opportunity. Climate change is giving the opportunity. So the new agenda of this partnership between the policymaker, the academics, and industry with a central point of One Health is going to draw the short term as well as long term. And I find the youth highly receptive to the idea that yes, we need to change, we should change, and once our mind start changing, then only we will be able to see the benefit out of this industry, academics, and policymaker, both things.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Dr. Agarwal. Agarwal, sir, the first part is maybe for the benefit of the group. We all would like to understand the role of ICR in agricultural education. This is the part one. Then I come to the second part.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, this agriculture education is the core of this entire discussion because I headed this for 5 years as a regulator for agriculture and higher education. And this was one of the key factors that how really we can make more meaningful the students' education, the academic program. And for that, we took a lot of initiatives like the revision of the UG curriculum, the PG curriculum, PhD curriculum, and in every stage, how to involve the industries for this. Like the attachment which they have got, the internship, they have the option either to go to the villages or they can opt to link with the industry. One thing I can say that the world is really in a great transition now. And in this transition, the traditional agriculture is changing now. So we are going for the productivity, we are going for the profitability, and we are going for the sustainability, as my all colleagues have told. And with the latest intervention of this artificial intelligence, which we cannot deny now, we cannot say that we will be away from artificial intelligence, which is a multidisciplinary approach, and where you cannot survive, you cannot educate without the involvement of the industry. So we made compulsory in the UG program that AI has to be taught now to these students. And now we don't have the expertise to teach these students. Again, we need the intervention of industry. So all those provisions have been really made. Now, another term, if you see the frugal innovations. Now, frugal innovations, you cannot, it's a low-cost innovation, which is really required as a demand-driven or which is required for the farmers. So for that also, you cannot do the things without the involvement of the industry. And we gave a lot of emphasis under this World Bank project, which I headed NAHEP. It was a very huge project, 1,200 crores. That how we can have this academia, industry, government linkages. And we got a lot of success for this. A lot of startups were there under this program. And everybody realized that, yes, it is the industry and our students have to be industry ready. They have to be really ready for the demands which our agriculture is requiring now. I can give few examples also, like you see the custom hiring centers. Now, this mechanization is a service. So mechanization service means it's not just mechanization and my duty is over, that okay, or the student's duty is over. So as a service, you cannot do the service to the farmers for this high cost interventions like drones, other things, every farmer cannot. But these custom hiring centers, again, with the support of the industry only can become successful. Otherwise, you cannot. So there are a lot of such things which have been deeply seen and has been incorporated into this. And the curriculum has been made dynamic. 20% of the UG program has been left to the universities that they can modify according to their requirements. So it's not totally fixed. And a lot of changes, like I just told you, agribusiness management we have incorporated now, which is again the requirement of this. We have analyzed that what is the requirement of the human resources in the agriculture for the next 20 years. And we could find how many new colleges are required, how many new universities are required. And accordingly, we just submitted the report to the government that this is the actual requirement. And fortunately, we should not just go on increasing, or we should not be underplaying what is the requirement, which disciplines are mostly in demand. And in that, ABM came at the top, agribusiness management came at the top. And of course, horticulture was one of them. Engineering was also one of them. And emerging areas are like this. Veterinary is also a lot of demand because of the small animals. So many such things have been analyzed and incorporated, and a future roadmap has been really put up for this.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a follow-up point for you. What I understand from your previous assignments, you have a couple of success stories where exactly you have collaborated with the industry. So maybe 1, 2 such examples, it would be good for everyone in the group.
I can cite many examples. Like one, you can just see with the Sayadi farm, if you have just heard of this. It is near Nasik. So they have very good collaboration with the MPKB Rahuri University. And the collaboration was of such level that they provided the scholarship, many kind of things, and they started giving the problems to the students. Okay. Like I can just give example. I have the best practice at the global level also. So I went for a study tour to many countries that how really we can incorporate into this. So if the industry start giving the funds to the university, like the Sayadi farm, they give the funds to the university. They sponsor the students for certain problems. If you work on that problem, and they will absorb those students. And today, I think Sayadi farm is exporting to 80 countries. It is more than 800 crores the turnover. 1 lakh farmers are connected into this, and many students of that university, they are really connected with this. And similarly, you see one of the program we started, IHR. IHR has developed some technologies for this frozen technologies with the support of technology, with the support of this industry again. In the same way, our neighbor here in Delhi, IARI, lot of collaborations with the seed industry for this, even for this Padma Shri which Dr. A.K. Singh got. They have a lot of collaborations with almost all the top seed companies, and it was due to that collaboration only that they were promoted to develop these new varieties. They were really in demand, and how really take it to the farmers. You cannot do alone if the support of the industry is not there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing the practical examples. Malhotra, sir, normally when it comes to, because I come from an agri-input background, so normally when we talk of horticulture, it would be grapes, apple, mango, but not much is being discussed about the post-harvest technology, sir. So what exactly has been the technological advancement on this front? Sir, your views on it would be. would be great for the group, sir.
Well. A lot of technological advancements have taken place. Post-harvest losses are also occurring in the country. We all are aware, but very liberally, many citations are there that losses are occurring to the tune of 40%, something. But scientific study says that losses are occurring from 8 to 18%. This is a scientific study based on this. So how we can reduce those post-harvest losses? This is one point. Another point is how we can further provide a good price to the farmer. Third one is we need to focus on some value addition, supply chain management. These all are the areas where we need to. Another one is integrated cold chain. We need to promote integrated cold chain where we should promote cooling chambers, cold storages. Cold storages are the last one, but then pre-cooling chambers, as I mentioned, then grading sorting units, and these all are the point. Then reefer van will also be in between to reduce the post-harvest. This is one. So these all are the mechanisms which are required to be taken care of. Then there are few horticulture crops where we have very short window. Once the harvest starts, within 15 days it will be over. You take example of falsa, you take example of fig, you take example of lychee even. So within those 15 days you have to do some kind of value addition is required, and this integrated cold chain will definitely help if we introduce into it. So here we need to work together. There are some areas where we need to work together. Similarly, for value addition, as I mentioned, novel products people are asking for, healthy superfoods based on horticulture products. Those are also needed. I remember one of the person from industry, they approached to me, farmer I should say, advanced farmer. He was growing falsa. Falsa grow kiya 7 days. Within 7 days, all crop was over. Well, there is nobody is the taker in the market. What I should do? Then I asked him, please spare 10 kg of falsa for me, and I gave it to my scientist, and we have developed the resins from the falsa. So resins have been developed, one juice concentrate that has also been prepared. So this way we need to do some kind of value addition, and farmer will also get a price, and it will be linked with the industry. So this way we need to approach. Then another point, which example you were asking about, there is one successful example, that's aeroponics in potato. I remember I was ADG at that time, and aeroponic technique has been developed by our institute, CPRI Shimla, for potato seed production. So there is a huge debate of the seed. So aeroponic is the technique. With the introduction of this technique, we can shorten the complete cycle. 7 years it takes from nucleus seed to certified seed production. So it has shortened our cycle to 4 years with the introduction of this aeroponic techniques. Microtubers are produced, those are hardened and tuber indexed for the viruses. These all things are practiced to supply the good quality potato seeds. So now industries, they have taken up this technology. Then in between some kind of problems were faced by the industry. Then we rectified it through validation and through midterm corrections were done. And now large scale adoption has taken place. And I think more than 15 industry persons, they have taken up the license, and large scale production is happening, and even we are now exporting the seed also. So this is a success story I just wanted to share. Thank you so much. Well,
Thank you so much. Kapoor sir, I'm coming to you. You had, no, go ahead. So it's to you only, sir. So there, you came up with a word called real-time challenges which the corporate world faces. And can you further deliberate on it? Because these real-world challenges can be related to technology, or maybe how the technology is being further taken up to the end consumer. So maybe, sir, over to you, sir.
No, thanks for picking it up. As a backgrounder, one is that we possibly need to think agriculture market inwards rather than farm outwards. That is the biggest challenge that we have not been able to think through all these 75 years on market inwards. That is, what is the need of the market so that we grow that. We are only saying we will produce what we can produce. So if nobody buys, then government will buy. That's the most inefficient system that you have. So that system is going to collapse. If not today, tomorrow, day after, someday it will collapse. So how do you prepare for it? So one is this transition will completely alter the way we prepare our human resources, the way we do research, and each research has to be essentially an impact centered. That means what is it that you require? Now, you just heard within agriculture, there are large islands of inefficiency sitting all across supply chain, right? I'll just give you an example. Somebody wanted to make a beer, a dear friend of mine, and then he was looking for a very specific kind of a grain. And it took them almost 3 years to convince one of the agriculture institutions, I don't want to name anybody, to promote some of the farmers, their seed that they had brought, to multiply that seed and give it to them so that they can do that. Now, so customization of delivery is so crucial. So when I'm saying dynamic, this is how it is dynamic and real time also. Secondly, there's a tremendous amount of inefficiency in logistics on how agriculture goods move. So how do you address that? Somebody talked of reefers right now. But are we integrating the air conditioning industry into our agriculture colleges so that they are able to see what are the latest developments there and bring them in? So, similarly, custom hiring centers. So on the mechanical side, what are the key developments happening globally? How do we get them in? Customize them to India and then bring them in, considering very clearly that we are a country of smallholder farmers. So 80% are less than 2.5 hectare. So how do we address that challenge? You will have a technology which is suitable to India. I think the next level is nuclear. How are we going to incorporate nuclear into food preservation? I think there's a tremendous amount of work happening globally, but are we using it? For example, potato itself, or for many, many crops. Many crops. So how do we make this whole thing more efficient? So real-time problem is, we may say we have infrastructure, we have storehouses. But do we have efficiency of the storehouses? That is a real-time challenge. How do you address that challenge? On creating it a real-time, because understand, one more thing I want to highlight here is, India is not producing for India. That time is gone. India has to produce for the world, because increasingly, I think our population is going to stabilize and maybe decline very shortly. We already have, if you look at the birth rate and all, we already are at a plateau and we are going downward. So we will have more aging population moving in, and youth are increasingly. So the population advantage that we have been talking about, we are now at the peak, is going to go down only. So how do we leverage that position? And how do we learn from other societies like Japan and others, bring those things in on a real-time basis? क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है, हम लोग we just thinking कि अच्छा हमारे पे तो ये है नहीं ना, we don't have this issue. But like today, of course, I also wrote about it, but we are sitting with a massive rice inventory. Almost, I think, if I'm not wrong, minimum 3.5 years requirement of the country equivalent rice. So we are just trying to push it into ethanol, we are trying to push it into everywhere. Because the storage cost is way more expensive than the landed cost of the rice to the distiller. But is this the answer? So this is a real-time challenge for the government also, for the industry also. Because you start dumping rice into ethanol, you are killing the entire ecology of the country. Because every hectare of rice, where you convert this into ethanol, you are taking away 1 lakh liters of water. Real-time challenges ecology, environment. How are we working to, as we grow our, what Prime Minister fondly says, more with less, more crop per drop, or all those, basically more from less, that is a real-time challenge. So Those are all open challenges present to the academia to work with the industry. Ask for sponsoring all those projects. Industry will happily come and soil health, major issue, very major issue. So where is the sponsorship? But where are the projects? Who has come out with a project to say CBG, for that matter, agriculture residues polluting the whole thing? Where are the sponsors? But where are the projects? So this is where I think agriculture system will also have to think out of the box and offer solutions rather than thinking ki acha ji, humne to bana diya, now somebody, I have to sell this product to somebody. I have a graduate, I have to place him somewhere, otherwise my placement ranking will go down. Right? So we just try and push them somewhere. So instead of that, why don't we create product which is customized, जिसको पहले दिन ग्रेजुएशन के पहले ही वो एम्प्लॉय हो जाना चाहिए, उसके बाद नहीं. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Saxena, just a quick point. Do you foresee a challenge? Both are equally important.
I'm happy to share that dairy industry in India is getting a new identity. That dairy animals are going to be the source of energy as well as providing fertilizer. And the in-between point is the technology, microbes, which will do the job. So obviously, agriculture, livestock, under one health program, which takes into account the total 5 fundamental requirements of people. That is food, which is nutritious, which is health-giving, fodder, which is for the animals and feed, and fuel and fertilizer for recharging the soil. This is what the system was. This is what the system is going to be. And the one point which all the panelists say, I want to repeat that thing. Energy is the backbone of all the sectors. You develop the technology where you want cold chain. But suppose there is no power, the technology comes to zero. So the basic thing, focus on, and as Raju Kapoorji said, about the modular nuclear plant of 10 megawatt capacity is the future of energy. Carbon-free energy. And carbon will be only to make carbohydrate, to make fat, to make protein, and the basic molecule of life, which is with the carbon only. So don't hate the carbon, love the carbon, and carbon has every value engraved in it.
Do we? Oh, sorry. So we don't have time. So highly thankful and grateful. There have been a couple of action items, and we would collate those action items and let's see how we can have the way forward that is being guided by it. Highly thankful and grateful. It was indeed knowledge for me for many things coming from all the great panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you.